2 weeks ago, major cement manufacturers in Nigeria, Dangote, Bua and Lafarge, agreed that the price of a bag of cement will not exceed between 7,000 naira and 8,000 naira. Well, the resolution was reached following a meeting between the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Uzoka Anite, as well as representatives of Bua Cement, Dangote Cement, Lafarge and Cement Producers Association. Arise News correspondent Benga Ashiru undertakes a market survey to monitor the level of compliance.
Over the years, the demand for shelter as a basic need has stood indispensably fundamental in the search for a fulfilling and happy life. But over time, this life's necessity is fast turning into a rare exclusive luxury, only for a few rich. The rising cost of cement has taken building a house out of the hands of many. As the price of cement takes a skyrocketing surge, the federal government has also tried to intervene, perhaps in keeping to the president's promise in his renewed hope agenda, which includes decent and affordable housing. Following the agreement with manufacturers, the Minister of Works, in a clear directive, insisted the price of cement should be brought down to not more than 8,000 naira.
The cement manufacturers, which is Dangote PLC, the Bua PLC and Lafarge PLC, have agreed to have their cement price nationwide to between 7,000 to 8,000 naira per 50 kg bag of cement.
Few days after, Arise News is on a market survey to ascertain the level of compliance.
Now, the hope of millions of Nigerians, especially the masses, in owning and having access to a decent and affordable housing is fast turning into a long-distant dream, no thanks to disruption in the supply chain and the cost of cement.
I cannot be able to explain based on I'm a buyer. When you try to find out, based on the market, they will tell you that transportation issue is one of those things that make the price increase. Like from 8,500, 9,000, some area you get 9,500.
So how much is your cement now?
My cement now is 9,000 per bag.
9,000 per bag, that's the last price?
That is the last price now.
So why are you not complying to the federal government's directive to bring down the cost of cement per bag to 7,500 naira?
Thank you very much. I like that question. Why is that? In the company where I will buy Dangote, they give us cement at a higher rate, and we charter the vehicle that will come and deliver it here for almost 1 million. So when you calculate all the money into the cement, what we are using to sell a bag of cement at the rate of 9,000 is just 200 naira after all those suffer. So that is why.
Indeed, it's obvious that the already poor state of Nigeria's real estate sector is coming under threat, no thanks to disruption in the supply chain and the cost of the bag of cement. Remember just last week, the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, gave a directive that the bag of cement should be brought down to as low as 7,500 naira. But here at Wuse Zone 5 Market, popular for building materials, we're here to do a comprehensive survey, and we observed that a cost of bag of cement just like this is 9,000 naira, putting a threat to the dream of millions of Nigerians to own a decent and affordable housing. From the Wuse Zone 5 Market, Benga Ashiru, Arise News.
Well, many thanks, Benga, and I'm quite sure many Nigerians would want to follow up on that. Joining us now in the studio is an architect, Kabiru Ibrahim. Good to see you, and thanks for your time. You chuckled, you smiled at some point, and you seem to have a sense of what this is about. Let us in on what exactly we're dealing with, because the minister had that meeting, which was commendable by many Nigerians, when Dave Umahi met the concerned people, or otherwise called stakeholders. What exactly is happening to the extent that we manufacture cement in Nigeria still is almost out of the reach of everyone?
Well, you see, 3 months, 4 months ago, we were buying cement at 4,900.
Wow.
Yeah, but now it is the cheapest I get is 8,800 here in Abuja.
So that report is correct?
Oh, yes. In fact, in some places it's more. I get it at that price because I am a regular buyer. So, and the people know me, and I'm a specifier. I design for people, and there are so many people who will go through me to buy. So, because of the volume I get from my supplier at 8,800. But the reality is this, you know, since the removal of the subsidy on petrol and petroleum products and everything, many people have hidden behind the fact that transport is key to the distribution of cement, and therefore price of, the costs of transportation are higher, and therefore, and then power in the plants also will attract a lot of, price increase due to the supply of diesel and things like that. So in Nigeria, what I have seen is, you know, building materials generally, including steel for reinforcement and all that, have all gone up. If you take regular bars, bars, not regular because there is what you call irregular and all that, but normal bars, steel bars that we use for small buildings, you know, making slabs and things like that, like 10 mm, 12 mm. Some of them have even quadrupled in their prices. You are talking of cement because cement is all over and everybody tends to just look at cement.
And cement is more than 50% of the component in the building industry. What impact is this even having on the already, you know, deficit situation that you have in Nigeria's housing? And then more fundamentally, there are claims that this may not be, this may be linked with the Minister of Works' decision or insistence that concrete should be used for roads. Manufacturers or distributors taking undue advantage of Nigerians with this development?
Well, this development of using concrete for our roads and all that is it just came around. And the government is not placing too many contracts because our economy is ailing. The construction industry is not as it used to be. So if we attribute this phenomenon to that, I think it's not very scientific. The most reasonable thing to say is transport and power and energy contribute more, and distribution of the fertilizer, of the cement is key. You know, cement is or used to be sold like Coca-Cola all over the place. The price is the same all over, and because of the distribution network. If you look at one of the key players in the industry, Dangote, you can see his vehicles all over Nigeria, and even I saw quite a number of them in Zambia. One time I was in Lusaka for something, and I just saw Dangote trucks distributing fertilizer and things like that, and they all use diesel. So there's someone there in the clip said that they pay about 1 million. I don't know his location. Is it from Obajina or from where that he takes, or is it Boa from Sokoto, or but I don't know. But if he mentioned 1 million as transportation of 600 or bags, when you divide the number of bags by, 1 million by the number of bags, you see the increase in the price. So I think essentially distribution of the cement and its production may account for some of these things, but largely it is a Nigerian factor. There is
the players, the players, they're not much. And recall that there were complaints by some saying that the big players have actually pushed them out of business. I see the smile on your face. Is it okay for us to start looking at, because whether you have 4 or 3, at the end of the day, it still more or less look like a monopoly. So we need more, don't we?
Well, we need more, but what about the resources to put the thing into place and for them to work optimally? You see, even in nature, everywhere, in every business, some people will have to cut a niche, and they tend to occupy the whole market, and you tend to refer to that as monopoly. But the monopoly has its own good sides too, because there is employment, there is reduction in proliferation of businesses so that you don't have too much saturation. Because what we don't have in Nigeria is business administration, small business administration. If you find, take bread for instance, in a neighborhood, you find 20, 30 bread factories, and the segment you are looking for is saturated. So people invariably don't get as much as they can. So if you allow too many cement companies to come in with no expertise, no capital, no nothing, there will be adulteration of
We haven't even allowed them in the first place.
So if you...
Because recall, sorry to cut you here, because you will recall when the foreign entity, Lafarge Holcim, joined, we all saw what happened, and many had thought that the space was more, robust. So it tells you that the narrative is that we need more players. And is it a thing that you think the government can do with the association, because they have a small association of cement manufacturers back then, to bring these people together and see how they can help them, just the same way we're talking about the modular refineries?
You see, it is easier said than done. When you say you want to control production, you have to either do it yourself or entrust it in the hands of people that you support wholly. But can the government really support people to set up these industries at this time? We have more issues than that. But the prices, now let me say this out of my own experience. As an architect, I look at a number of building materials, and cement is very, very critical. Now, the prices of cement, or the price of cement, has been rising astronomically, pari passu with the purchasing power of Nigerians and the Naira. Now, every other thing, including food, has risen. Now, is the rise commensurate with even the devaluation of our currency? And the reasons for some of these price escalations, for dollarization, are they true also on fertilizer? I mean, not fertilizer, on cement? So this is what we have to interrogate. So what are the components that you use? Are you importing them? Why is the price like this?
But come to think of it, about 80%, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, 80% of the cement components are actually locally sourced.
Yes. So that is why I'm telling you, it's a Nigerian thing. I mean, people don't even aim to be their brothers or sisters keepers. They want to eat fat on society. They want to take advantage of whatever situations there are.
And it's even more worrisome when you hear that across the borders, when you go to Benin or Cotonou and what have you, cement is a lot cheaper. The same brands that are sold at
I think that is not true.
The exact
not true. Okay. Because I have priced cement somewhere in Africa too. You know, it's when you talk of Dangote in Nigeria, you go to some African countries, you will still see Dangote cement, and he's keener to even take it there than to even sell here. So it gets more there, because you are dollarizing the thing.
What's the way out of this?
The way out is simple. We don't have to necessarily have price control, but we have more consumer protection. You protect the consumers, and then you have a focus, a national focus. Now, you have a housing deficit, for instance. It is well known in Nigeria that you are doing social housing to make sure that many people get housing. So, develop a mechanism that will protect consumers. Make sure that consumers are protected in price and quality, and then you realistically ask or make the people put prices that they can sell. What if, for instance, you have a product and there are no buyers?
Right.
Will it be there? Will you thrive in it? So, but if everybody goes to buy Dangote cement, and whether they they need to use it or not, if there are alternatives, why don't you think of using adobe, clay? In this, I'm an architect, why don't I improvise? Get a whole housing scheme of 1,000 units using adobe. Fantastic. Less cement. That would bring down the use of cement. When the supply is clearly sufficient and the price is very high, then there is a question mark, because this is not this is anathema to economics.
Exactly, it's not a question of availability.
So we need to really look at it. It's not by fiat. I think the minister saying it should be 7,000, 8,000 is mere talk.
But the manufacturers themselves agree.
The manufacturers, you have forgotten. One manufacturer said he was going to bring down the price of cement to 3,500.
And it didn't happen.
He was saying it.
But it never happened.
We'll have to say thank you very much.
We'll have to leave it there. Since it's a fine place, you say it's mere talk, and it gives us room for the conversation to continue. Absolutely. So that we can stay on that. Kabir, Ibrahim, an architect, always a delight having you on Newsline.
Thank you very much for having me.